The history between these two teams, though, obviously the Lounge talked about it a lot, but multiple finals versus each other with different rosters, and now this roster for 100 Thieves is in the last stands of the organization, trying to make a deep run, whereas Team Liquid struggling.
Or the last heist.
The last heist. Exactly, even better. Whereas this version of Team Liquid struggling to achieve the heights that they achieved earlier this year as well as last year.
Absolutely. I mean, 4 of these players on Team Liquid last year went to Worlds. 3 of these players last year on 100 Thieves went to Worlds. So both of these teams are trying to get back to that point, as well as having the conclusion of their rivalry be a big moment here. So both these teams definitely have not been playing up to their standards, and I'm really curious to see which team can make the improvement and stay alive.
Especially since, you know, it's a different look with 100 Thieves now for draft because they have Dhokla really opening up the top lane pool. For the longest time, 100 Thieves, their draft was one of the most predictable because for Sniper, it was very much restricted, and it was like no Rumble, and then not as much tanks either, but Dhokla had that good Rumble game. He got one on Sion as well, and he has been like very open in champion pool. He's also in a very good mood today, by the way. I was in there, and he was just, I wasn't interviewing him, but he kept on like leaning over. It was like, oh, you
want to talk to me?
Yeah. So he is definitely in a good mood, and he really has brought a lot of energy to the team. So excited for this match, but also the draft for top lane. Team Liquid, though, of course. Oh, okay. So going to start it out here with Yuuji Wukong priority. Maybe they want to start the game with a Wukong Annie combination and go with the classic like engage burst combo that everyone's been using.
Yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, Split 3 has not been kind to Team Liquid, but the 2 times they played Wukong, they've actually won them. So it's 2 of their 3 wins have been on that pick. So it's just definitely giving Yuuji something he's found success with so far this split. And I would not be shocked if Dhokla gets to play Rumble again.
And for APA, you know, his most played champion so far is actually Annie. Even though the Ziggs games, both Ziggs games were amazing. He had big gold leads. And they ended up fumbling it.
Yeah, what letter was next to the game end there? Is a big L, unfortunately, next to those Ziggs games.
True.
Yeah. See what he's going to play here, as it looks like it's going to be the Orianna picked up for Quid.
So the answer, or the question is, are we going to get Galio from Impact? Because that is good into Rumble. That is, you know, good with these big AoE, you know, engaged teams that we usually see also. Or is they going to try and put him back on Gwen? You know, this is nerfed Gwen, so I would say probably don't do that, but, you know, they might still feel like it's okay. I would definitely prefer the Galio or even the Ornn. Nowadays, after the changes to Gwen.
Galio makes sense, though, as a decent lane matchup and a good combo, and the Annie would make perfect sense for the synergy with their first pick if they lock this in.
Seems to be the hover for right now. We'll see what that other pick was for Team Liquid, as it looks like we're just updating our graphics right now. So it's the Galio. There it is. Galio plus the Annie.
It's not the Annie.
Oh,
it's the Ziggs.
Back on Ziggs.
The hot swap back over to the Ziggs. I asked him, was there any problem with Ziggs? No, there's no problem with Ziggs. Just a little, the recall at the end on Vision got shot. So like he said, though, if it's repeatable and they feel like it is repeatable to get to that end stage, you would want that every single time. So they're going to have a huge AoE combination regardless of having Annie or not. Wukong and Galio are engaged enough of a combination for themselves anyway, so it's on 100 Thieves here, I feel like, to pull out some of these skirmishes, you know, in the like 2- and 3-person skirmishes here, since they've got a Xin, and Xin here with the visual rework should be able to force some early skirmishes or objectives against a Wukong, who takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, pretty stock standard stuff for these teams, especially with APA getting his Ziggs. I'm a little surprised that the Orianna was taken with such haste by 100 Thieves, because one of the big stories we ran with last week was that they'd switched him back onto Melee Champions. He'd played Melee Champs in 3 of the 4 games of that series.
Said they got plenty of weapons in their arsenal, Jatt.
They have many weapons. I will just say some of the weapons work better. The ranged champions have not worked nearly as well for Quid. I feel like he's played fine on the ranged champions. He just hasn't been able to generate wins for the team because he's a little more passive. He's not the one flying in, and I really feel like they're at their best when he is doing that. But that's what they chose to go with game 1, and it got counterpicked with an even higher range control mage.
And if you think back to last week, it was a Kali game 1, so very aggressive early game, or rather early drafting of those melee champions. Different strategy this time around for 100 Thieves. Let's see if it works out for them.
Yeah, and kind of the reason there, I feel like they just expect the Annie so much And Orianna does have a good matchup in Annie because of the range. And so that's kind of, I feel like that's why Team Liquid did their own hot swap there. They were going to go for that, and they feel like this is the good replacement here. But all the focus on supports now. Yeah,
maybe Golden Glue is really buying into the narrative that, you know, APA Ziggs is not a threat anymore after the 2 losses that we saw.
Is that a narrative?
I don't know. We're talking about it.
Coined it. It's a Kangas
I don't think that's a narrative, man. Anyone should be pushing because he's still like he got massive individual gold leads in both of their losses on the individual champion. Definitely
can't translate it. Doesn't count. Boom. That's what we're saying. But you're right about the support focus there from 100 Thieves, and they're going to lock in their next support here. Looks like it with a Neeko hover. It took away things like the Bard, the Rakan, even the Karma was pinched on the side of Team Liquid. So a lot of the ranged supports now off the table.
Absolutely. I would say they're looking for a little bit of lane dominance. It'll end up being counterpick 80 carry. I don't love it for their overall team composition with the Neeko, Rumble, Orianna. It's just a lot of upfront magic damage burst, but it should give them that winning bot lane most likely. What's Team Liquid gonna slide their way into?
I'm wondering if they want to go for like more defensive support, something like a Braum. They've hovered the Aphelios, the Lucian. Those are things I see paired with that more often. But no, they're going to go for a little more engage to follow up the Wukong Cyclone. Be a delivery system for the Galio as well as Alistar's locked in.
Yeah, looking for the farm here, farm lane against what 100 Thieves are showing. Because 100 Thieves obviously are going to be able to have the advantage in the 2-on-2, honestly, regardless of what AD they pick. So TL opting for the CoreJJ Alistar for the playmaking for the team here. And what are we going to have or what are we going to have Yeon on? So something a little bit safer or go in short range. They are just going to go in here with the Lucian then.
I'm a little surprised that they have Lucian without a traditional Lucian pair, like a Lucian Braum, Lucian Nami, Lucian Melio. Now that pairing would be gone for the rest of the Fearless best of 5. But Yeon must have really just been feeling the Lucian probably into the Orianna Rumble and Jhin just for the quick little dash he can get to avoid engages.
Yeah, he wants that mobility so he doesn't, you know, he can evade shockwaves and he can evade Rumble ultimate.
I feel like Ezreal might have been, like Ezreal to me when he was hovering that with like 1 second left was the more logical choice. But if you're feeling the Lucian, he's just going to go with his gut.
We have seen Lucian without the traditional pairings in the past, but it's still surprising regardless. Jhin is the answer for FBI on 100 Thieves. So Jhin plus Neeko, a lot of kill threat in that lane. If you get hit by one Tangle Barb, you can take a lot of damage and be in a lot of trouble,
Yeah, especially since they're the ones with the Jhin jungle here versus Wukong early. A lot of potential for ganks.
Potential. That's the name of the game. I mean, I always love to talk about those early game junglers. I feel like oftentimes they don't go for those early ganks, so it doesn't really pay off. But when you have a Jhin Neeko, that's the type of lane that you're like, oh, yeah, that is a kill lane that suddenly we do need to track where River's starting, if he's going to be pathing bot, or if he's going to be trying to hover the Rumble on the top side of the map and play more towards Dhokla, who, again, has been a resurgence for the team, really stepping in and getting everybody on the same page. Whoever you're favoring, though, this is game 1 of the end of a rivalry between Team Liquid and 100 Thieves. 8 years in the making, multiple finals versus each other, and now the end of a legacy. Team Liquid, again, a team that has been struggling at this point in the split. 100 Thieves, you can say similar for. It's crazy to think that just a few months ago, it was these two teams in the finals of Split 1. And they're now in the lower bracket matching up against each other with elimination on the line. Loser will go home. Winner will continue through that lower bracket. A lot of pressure on all the players on your screen.
For sure. The blessing and the curse of elimination best of 5s. It doesn't matter what you did in the year leading up to this moment. It only matters what you do now. So we saw that yesterday. DSG was actually 1 game away from eliminating Cloud9. But today we have 100 Thieves versus Team Liquid.
And Kangas, there's a lot of history between these two teams and between the coaches and players on these two teams. You mentioned the rivalry. Spawn has played against Golden Glue a lot. Of course, a lot of that was also in Academy. And Spawn has had the upper hand on those, but they have a lot of respect for each other. And when we had all the coaches on last week, they were talking about it a decent amount as well. They were both kind of sad that they do have to play in the lower bracket and eliminate each other so early on, but here we are.
So much history between the coaching staff, between these orgs. 66% win rate, though, for Spawn. Not too bad. But you can see all the different finals. It was all 3-0s either way that it went between these two organizations. Although this time around, we didn't give our predictions as casters. I'm expecting that it could go the full 5-game distance, and I'm sure that the fans would appreciate that as well, as taking a little trip down memory lane.
Yeah, lots of memories between these two orgs, lots of connections between the two teams full of players and coaches. I mean, a lot of familiarity for these teams. I'm expecting, I'm shocked if it's just 3 games.
Yeah. I think that would be a disservice to the story of them, but also it would be consistent.
That's what APA also predicted and was calling for.
Okay. Well, we'll see if they're able to back that up here. As catching up on the early laning phase, I asked the question early, where would River start? He is starting on the top side, pathing bot. Meanwhile, Yuuji is pathing to the top side. So that expectation of maybe Zhao making action happen could actually show up here.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about when you have lanes with lots of CC like that. You just want to be around for the action, for the possibilities there. And 100 Thieves getting the early push in. They've not only got a decent amount of chunk damage, but they already worked off a lot of the health on that first turret plate. So they're really utilizing the Neeko lane well. That's one of the things you want to utilize with this champ. The push early on into an Alistar, it should be guaranteed. You want to get some turret gold out of that, some turret plate money, as well as being the playmaker to be able to set up some ganks or some dives. Yeah, you can see the defensive ward right there as well, just in case there is a move down from River.
I mean, Core and Yeon, I think, are just trying to survive until they can get a good swap timer. Unless Impact is doing exceptionally well into Rumble, which is fairly unlikely, but he has good shove early. So I really just think Team Liquid is trying to find a timer to get out of this lane bot.
Nice start for 100 Thieves bot lane, but mid lane here, as we're looking at a tri-cam, Quid is getting poked heavily by APA. So APA getting the best out of his counter pick. As you remember, Orianna was locked in very early from the Thieves. And also, Impact landing nice damage here onto Dhokla. So the solo lane's actually showing up for Team Liquid as Yuuji is in the neighborhood outside.
I mean, he has his full clear. He's actually skipping the crab, going straight up to Dhokla because Impact had gotten such a good trade. But I think with that ward, Dhokla is fairly certain he's not there anymore. I should see him try and move up to catch this wave.
Impact just takes a harpoon and will look to proxy the wave. Oh, maybe not.
Good ward by Dhokla.
Yep, good ward and good good call to move in on that timing too, to get back to the wave. Let's see here on the bottom side. Nice little chunk there from Yeon and CoreJJ.
Yeah, if Yeon has more mana, I think he actually goes more aggressive right there, but he's been trading a lot. FBI's now walking back. Flash from Core, looking for the headbutt back onto Eyla, knocking him towards the wave as Yeon's trying to get the damage in. First blood to CoreJJ.
I don't think they need to get out of that lane, buddy.
No need to swap. Although it's funny, this is a good timer to swap after getting the kill, but still a really nice job there by CoreJJ. FBI and Eyla had been so aggressive trying to push every advantage, and sometimes when you do that, you end up overplaying a little bit. So Core, with the flash pulverize, just gets him.
And I think it's one of those instances where FBI's lower health, so you're looking at the Jhin thinking they're going to go in there, but instead, CoreJJ, the leader of the team, just saying, nope, let's go on to Eyla. We still have enough damage to kill him.
And the bottom lane is one of the ones where you have these long-lasting relationships where Yeon played with Eyla for years on Team Liquid Academy, and now he has had a longer tenure with CoreJJ as his duo partner, but those supports know each other extremely well, so when you see CoreJJ go in for kills onto Eyla, feels like there's a little bit of extra like master versus student going on there. Core has always been very, very, kind to Eyla and talking about how he's the second best support in the league a couple years ago, but he did say second, not first. He's got himself in the #1 spot.
And yeah, for those of you who don't know, every time Yeon and Eyla were on Team Liquid Academy, Core was on Team Liquid main. So they were playing and scrimming against each other, and Core was helping Eyla learn the ropes from very early on in his time in North America.
An awesome relationship between Eyla and CoreJJ. Always fun to see them against each other. Big kill pickup by Team Liquid. I also want to catch up on what was happening in the mid lane there. Quid actually teleported to lane, gets shoved back again, and has now had to walk back. So we see a lead in the mid lane. We see that first blood in the bot lane as well for Team Liquid. Doesn't amount for a massive lead overall for them, but still, I'd say early game looking solid for Team Liquid.
And just holding the lanes as well. So they're just deciding to stay bottom. They had been down a little bit at CS, could equalize it with that kill. And now both junglers pathing towards the bottom side. Definitely going to look to have a little bit of action and maybe a Drake attempt if they end up pulling off a gank.
APA has the Lost Chapter, so can stay in this lane a little longer, push these waves. 100 Thieves currently have Quid in the river. Thinking maybe they start the dragon, not doing it yet.
Yeah, Quid looking for some honey fruit down there, and going back up the lane means that Yuuji does have the inside route, and they do have the controller at Pixel Brush, but they lose the crab vision.
And FBI has to flash there because CoreJJ actually looked for an engage. Yuuji was nearby, so 100 Thieves with their bot laner not having flash. Instead, we'll have River come in to help hover around.
But the volatility in this lane is really good for Team Liquid. Having two flashless bot laners with Yuuji about to hit level 6, and if there's ever a fight around Grubs or Drake while those flashes are down, it's the Wukong Galio combo. Those, like Eyla and FBI wouldn't be able to approach at all.
Flash from APA right there. River was nearby, could have looked for the Wind Becomes Lightning Audacious Charge. So Quid gets the flash out of APA this time around.
Yeah, nice value on the shockwave there. Low on mana, so it goes for the recall right afterwards, but full vision set up for 100 Thieves as well, surrounding this dragon both from mid lane and from top lane. So they're definitely going to have the extra information. It's just about, can you actually get the lane prowl from those two lanes? Because the push has been going the way here of TL after their kind of bounce back.
And that's a third back from Quid here. He has not picked up a tier or really any other mana items. It's just the Doran's Ring and now Lucidity Boots. So trying to just get his cooldown reduction, but you can feel it that he's got it back more often. He's running out of mana in this lane.
Yeah, I mean, he's been getting poked like crazy from APA as well, so don't completely fault him for upgrading his boots early, trying to dodge more of the skill shots or get back to lane faster. So he's sticking with it pretty well, actually, only down about 8 CS despite having to back so often, but hasn't been able to pressure any of the side lanes with the Orianna.
All right, we've got our swaps for the grub fight here. The wave is pushed in 400 Thieves, so Yeon right now is actually going for the top minion wave, not, oh, he's actually running over.
The Hex Splash forward. Now Eyla tries to root him up, but the engage is already there. Eyla's in trouble. The Mega Bomb from Ziggs is enough. APA picks up the kill as River is still in the pit here. Might be in trouble, has the flash available, will need to use it to get out of there, but now Quid's here with the shockwave coming off cooldown shortly. Maybe if they can buy enough time, River throws out the Crescent Guard, he's trying to keep himself alive. Damage back on the Yuuji when Becomes Lightning lands. They're pulling the curtain back here as Jhin's throwing the damage, and River gets the grub and gets out.
That was actually so a heist here for 100 Thieves. Now, I mean, it was good initially for Team Liquid to take advantage of those, flashes being down on the 100 Thieves bottom laners. Eyla was targeted, and they immediately were able to use their burst damage to go for the kill again. CoreJJ saw him. He went for the engage. He got the perfect stun there for the sweet spot on the Ziggs ultimate as well, so APA gets credit. We have seen what happens when APA Ziggs gets a lot of money, but here, River stays in super long with his Jhin ultimate, and then they've got the ultimate here from Jhin as well, and they combine it for a grub snipe steal right there between River and FBI.
Pop Blossoms defensively used under the turret from Eyla, but everybody's focused on FBI. Target the AD carry, Core tanks up the turret. Team Liquid pull off the dive.
And they're definitely targeting the summoner spells being down. I mean, Eyla just lost his flash yet again. It was down at the start of that last replay. FBI's flash was down at the start of this dive, and CoreJJ had held his ultimate from the grub fight, so he just uses that power spec from Alistar to tank as many turret shots as he wants, and they send him back once again.
And probably the most repeated narrative for Team Liquid over the course of the last 2 years is about the bottom lane and them being the ones to carry.
Yeah, quote from Eyla saying CoreJJ's always running around trying to find people to kill. It's you! Yep. He's trying to find you to kill. So Ayla's not able to match him and stop people from getting killed because he's fallen twice already of the 3 deaths for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and Eyla, you got to save himself. He says, he was looking around to try and save other people usually from CoreJJ.
Yep. I mean, technically he is.
It's like when you're on an airplane. They're like, get your own breathing apparatus on first and then help the people next to you. Yeah.
Yep, Core is going right at him.
Flash from Impact. They're going straight in onto FBI again. Still no summoner spells. Punished yet again.
I mean, that's a tempo trap right there from Impact. It's absolutely a swap that FBI thinks has happened because Impact, they're expecting him to go top and match the Rumble, but he just sticks around in that bush for a little bit of extra time and surprises who is still a flashless FBI.
Yeah, Eyla wasn't reading that one. Although I guess in his defense, that's not where CoreJJ was.
Oh yeah, that was Impact. Hands up, that's not
my job.
Not my job. There are a couple deaths that are on me, but not this one. But yeah, I mean the focus against the 100 Thieves bottom lane is super paying off for Team Liquid here. very nice gold lead for themselves. Every individual lane is ahead. Of course, with the lion's share being in Yeon's hands, in Lucian's hands, which is where they want it. Yeon's hands have been the diamond hands of the team. They have been the most steady throughout the ups and downs of this TL roster.
They really have, and I gotta credit this early game from Team Liquid once again. Yes, they'd been getting gold advantages the last few times they played Ziggs Kangas, but that was usually on the Ziggs. This is the bottom lane taking that early kill and burn summoner spell and just continuing to punish that on repeat. Like, I wonder if they can find another kill onto Eyla before that flash comes back up, because they've been so honed in on punishing those summoner spells.
Okay, not to curse TL, but they also had a game where Yeon himself had a 3,000 individual gold lead. I think it was with Yunara, and they ended up not being able to close that one.
Anytime you start with not trying to curse them, it feels like a curse is coming as Yeon pushes FBI back yet again here. Team Liquid also push River out of that bottom river. Not a lot of objectives to fight over. It seems like they're just hovering APA right now, who has completed that first item. So is Yeon, so is Yuuji. Team Liquid are coming online.
I mean, they really are. Yeon is thinking a fight is going to happen by moving on into River here. He could have definitely taken a free plate, but CoreJJ and Yuuji want to play to happen.
They just see Eyla. They really want to go for the fight. Pop Blossom again defensively as he's trying to get Quid into a safe spot. Big damage from Quid. As Shockwave was used, flashes forward for the damage on Yuuji, but the teleport's coming in. Team Liquid trying to get their jungler out of there. Dhokla has arrived, but now he's focused down, flashes to safety, 2 kills picked up by the Thieves as Curtain Call might look for a third. APA gets to safety, Yeon out of there as well, but oh, the flash under the turret from River. 100 Thieves are committing to the dive, and they'll find Yeon.
That was sick to get the Jhin ulti bullet too right there. He just snapped his fingers, went right in for the dive. This Thieves strike back in this game. That is a tremendous amount of gold. They cut down on this TL gold lead. Impact the entire time was pushing topside, so they get a little bit of money out of turret plates, but that is so worth it for 100 Thieves. Oftentimes, when they really need it the most, they just decide, we are full sending, and they pull the trigger, and in they go.
That's the crazy part to me, though, because it's Team Liquid who actually sends first. It looked like a really forced play. They had free gold sitting in the mid lane, but when they go for this, 100 Thieves is under the turret, and Yuuji and APA take so much damage early, so by that point, the flank teleport is on the way. CoreJJ tries to stop the rest of the team from following through, is unable to delay them enough. Dhokla narrowly living, and this is the sick part at the end, Kobe, where they're able to get the Jhin damage in.
Yeah, look at River. He stacked up his knockup on those minions, and then he flashes in to go secure Yeon here for them, and nobody dies to the tower afterwards. Golden Glue is happy to see that one. He's like, oh, what? River is crazy.
They're back.
I can't tell if he's celebrating or just breathing again, as that was a tight one for 100 Thieves, but it gets them 3 kills and just collapses that gold lead. It was a 1,500 for Team Liquid. It seems like they were going to start running away with it, as now it's, you know, within striking distance.
Essentially take the point where Kobe said not to jinx Team Liquid, and it's been all downhill since then.
Good point. How do you feel, Kobe?
Powerful. That's some dangerous power here.
That is.
Bottom side, though, the side lanes here. Back to the focus for Team Liquid on side lanes. When they have the Ziggs in play, APA always looking to blow up these side towers first. So they rotated him down there, and they'd had CoreJJ hovering so he could get some alone time, but
Brother calling from Yeon, getting a lot of damage onto FBI. Does not burn the barrier or the flash.
FBI is just going to take a trip to base instead. Yuuji is taking the Rift Herald, so 100 Thieves is going to be able to take this Drake while Team Liquid focuses on turrets in the top lane. So just objectives getting traded all over the place right now. Going to be slight gold up for Team Liquid, but I think 100 Thieves is happy to be closer to the Dragon Soul.
yeah, if you liked this Super Week, which is still ongoing, we're going to get another
one.
We're going to have
2 in a row?
Super Week.
Super duper week right there. All right,
one of
mark
these
your
teams,
calendars for Friday.
One of these teams will be playing on Friday. The winner of this will play C9 on Friday. And if they are to win the regional playoffs, or the elimination phase as it's so called, they'd have to win Friday, Saturday, and Sunday consecutively.
3 best-of-5s in a row. That is a gauntlet to run right there. The hat trick. As Impact was able to finally take that top turret, so the first turret has fallen. Interesting to see the Galio committed so much in the side lane. Typically, I expect to see that more going into that mid lane to help out, but hey, he's getting work done.
Yeah, and I see Ziggs with a free lane down there. It looks like he's not going to overcommit for the tower again, though. Every time I see APA moving up, you think he's going to blow up one of these towers. But they do not want to overextend because mid lane is so important here. They call APA up with CoreJJ and Yuuji here to make sure they've got full vision coverage to protect Yeon here. Yeon still has his gold lead on the Lucian. It's almost 1,000 individual gold here up over the Jhin, and they do have to push in mid lane, but nobody going to push too far at the moment. Again, they have the Rift Herald, so with Rift Herald plus Ziggs on a team, you basically can just delete another tower. Plus with the bottom one being low, there's a lot of gold that's very close to TL picking it up, and I want to see what 100 Thieves can do against that, if they can like set up a trap or something.
TL doesn't need to rush it. They're actually trying to move top to punish Impact's Galio. He's in.
Yeah, 100 Thieves are committing River up here, and Impact actually goes for the taunt onto Dhokla. Now running back into the brush, no escape possible. 100 Thieves find Impact alone in the side lane.
And this is where Team Liquid's going to try and rush that bot lane turret as well. So Rift Herald ends up being dropped for nothing, but they might go for 2 here. That's a classic Ziggs play.
Yeah, you definitely have to go for 2 to try and get the value out of it.
I guess they're not trying to get the value out of it.
You at least need you need the charge, because they didn't get the charge on the first one because it was so low already. So APA is like, I got to delete this thing. So the Rift Herald's going to be able to at least get second charge so we can actually get that value. And they do get the damage on the second one in the side lane. But if you don't finish that off, like that is a huge amount of gold here in a secondary turret of a side lane. So it's a little dangerous for him to get back there and actually finish the job.
And Kobe, Jatt, moments like that is what reminds me. I feel like TL Split 1 would have gone for it. I feel like that's one of those instances. They have the Ziggs, they have the Herald, that like an older version of Team Liquid would have been more confident.
Well, if the older version of Team Liquid had a Galio who was alive, I think they're more likely to do it as well. Because if they overextend there, the teleport timer for Dhokla is back up. They could get teleported from behind, and it could just get even worse. So I think they needed to pull away. It was just a mismatch of expectations, dropping the Herald when they would have had the turret for free anyway.
Fair enough. Well, as we come back to live here, everyone's back on the map, so Impact is available to hover with his own teleport now as he's pushing out the bottom side. Dhokla, meanwhile, is going to catch this top wave.
Yeah, I think that thing would have been better used mid instead. Since the bottom one was basically already gone. But here we are, pushing the side lanes right back out, and they do have both teleports available for 100 Thieves. So since APA used his to get up to the top side afterwards to grab those minions, 100 Thieves are the ones with the possibility of the global play still.
Yeah, it's a bit weird how the mid turret still has this much health. I feel like it's been active choices by Team Liquid to devote resources elsewhere. I think very easily they could have chipped away the mid turret before the disaster play in the bot lane, and they could have used the Herald in mid lane as well. It could easily be down by now.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that Herald was running out on the timer. They had like just gotten it, so they didn't have to use it on bottom side by any means, especially since the Ziggs was already there to blow up that turret. But regardless, they're going to still keep pushing towards this mid tower.
They might still get it anyway. APA pushes the wave top, now rotates mid here, and yeah, just deletes these towers. And now it has fallen.
Yeah, and I think 100 Thieves is all just taking resets anyway to try and set up for this third Drake. I do want to touch on Dhokla, though, because, again, he's putting together a pretty solid Rumble game. And this was last week against Lion. He had a very solid Rumble game. Also won on Silent. This is
like
the big reason.
Yeah, just a little note on there.
Yeah, this is the big reason they got him, is actually, like, specifically to just lock these 2 champions in games 1 and 2. And they've been remarkably consistent with this since Dhokla's joined the roster, and worked last week and is working okay so far. We'll see if they can bring it home.
Yeah, I think one of the things they have to worry about right now is the 2-item power spike for Yeon. You know, this gold lead has manifested.
CoreJJ is just going to start things off here, getting damage onto River early on as River actually goes back in. CoreJJ now wishing maybe he hadn't gone forward. Equalizer from Dhokla as he is already nearby, but in comes the Galio. Close from Yeon misses, but River in trouble. Barely able to get out. Pop Blossom onto 3. The Thieves are taking the fight, pushing Team Liquid back into their own jungle. FBI's walking forward, getting the damage onto APA. Quid speeding him up. 2 more autos should have it. There's 1. There's 2. APA down. 100 Thieves smash the fight.
That's the 100 Thieves hand check that we're used to seeing. CoreJJ's the one who starts the fight, but 100 Thieves are the ones who end it. Watch River after he gets engaged on. The amount of damage he immunes with his ultimate is absolutely absurd. Rumble ult goes down, River flies in, pops the ult, and survives the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, they just go right through the Alistar. CoreJJ takes so much damage there, but River once again, the miraculous escape. And just getting the heal there. Was that a Sundered Sky auto he got off on impact just at the end? Oh my goodness. Able to live again, and he immediately, job's not done. He goes over, gets the objective afterwards. He's like, I'm on Dragon now.
Soul point.
Yeah, there you go.
Easy peasy. And again, it was Core going for that play initially. It looked like they were just trying to get some damage onto River maybe. Like the team wasn't quite there to fully follow up on that engage from Core. Either way, it's now 7 kills to 4, 3 dragons to 0, even 2 grubs to 100 Thieves. And now a commanding position here. The gold's still relatively even, but I mean, man, that Dragon Soul already being available for them in 4 minutes time. Big boon for 100 Thieves.
I mean, APA did a bunch of damage in that fight, but it just wasn't enough because everyone on 100 Thieves got out with about 5% on their health bar. The fact that nobody died there, 3 Drakes now to 100 Thieves, what was, again, a strong early game for Team Liquid, has quickly fallen apart. And I feel like 100 Thieves has a slight lead here.
Yeah, I mean, well, they got the Otacon as well, so that's a lot of flowers, a lot of XP in their pocket. That's gonna
I feel like they have a big lead with all the objectives. 3 dragons.
I didn't want to overstate it. You never know what's going to happen.
It's all the objectives for the Thieves, the heist that they've been able to pull out. And remember, the first heist they pulled in this game was that extra grub, where River stood around longer with his ulti. He combined with FBI's ultimate on the Jhin. I just feel like the synergy between River, Eyla, and FBI has been really good. Like, this entire team does seem to be operating very smoothly here. It is nice to see the 100 Thieves really back on track from some of the rough games that they had at the beginning of the split. Especially River here. I feel like he is doing a lot of work on Jhin, making so much value with his ultis. And now they get to collect some of this standing gold. They had not taken a turret this whole game. Since they were against Ziggs, a lot of that TL gold lead was from turrets. And so now 100 Thieves, after their kills, after all their objectives, start to get some of the turret gold back too. It is going to look a lot bigger.
Factor in their series last week versus Lion, and it seems like 100 Thieves are back to the old form, where they're just scrapping for everything. They're fighting you for objectives, and they are hands checking you at those. Yuuji and Yeon right now spotted out by River, but looks like no fight's going to break out right here. Yeah,
and River, Quid have the dynamic duo cooking once again. River flies in, the extra shielding from the Orianna. I'd say Quid is having another solid game, even though it's on the range champ that we were a little bit questioning. He had a tough laning phase, but they pulled it back in the team fights here. And I just feel like 2.5 items on him, 2 full items on River. They're really dictating the pace of the map right now.
That Orianna will just blow somebody up if they're able to get that shockwave onto them, as right now it's Impact the focus. River just pushing him away, but too big of a health bar to get through.
Yeah, I mean, he's already working on Magic Resist with the Blighting Jewel, has 7 stacks in his Dark Seal, in addition to his 2-item power spike, so the shockwaves are going to be hitting, that is for sure. He's also a level ahead of APA, so he will be approaching that level 16 first to get the really big shockwaves. And 100 Thieves, they're going to be only 1.5 minutes away from Dragon Soul fight coming up, and they don't even have to like overcommit to it or anything too, because Team Liquid haven't gotten a single dragon, so all they have to do is get Eyla there first, get their vision set up, and maybe you get some big Neeko engage.
Yeah, and when you're a support that's lost this many fights in a row as well as not getting the Otacon, like CoreJJ is still level 7, so even though he has the ultimate on Alistar, like he just doesn't have the base stats that anybody else does. He's 3 levels behind the next closest player in the game, who is Eyla, so they need something to go their way, but they just don't have the time, as it's now Soul Point. 50 seconds.
I mean, we saw him kind of get melted in the last fight, where he's starting it out, and you know, River and Eyla were dumping a lot of damage into him. Oftentimes, too, if you're so low like that on Alistar, you have to ult early, which can be really dangerous, because if you ult early and then they don't commit to the fight, and then you have no ult later, like
Yeah.
actually so useless as a level 8 Alistar this late into the game. So it's really scary to have to play around.
Expecting a fight here soon, so I want to take inventory. FBI's Flash is just coming off cooldown, so with Impact. So everybody has summoner spells. Everybody has ultimates available. This will be a full-powered fight between both teams for this Dragon Soul. If 100 Thieves want to opt into it, and they're just going to go straight in onto APA. There's the Shockwave combo. Ziggs taking a lot of damage, but River in trouble. Using the Crescent Guard, but he just doesn't have the team behind him, but it doesn't matter! He just takes down APA. Pop Blossom on to 400 Thieves again! Make it happen at the Dragon fight. Team Liquid in full retreat. The Thieves flashing forward to clean up the kills. That is a 4-for-0 for the Thieves.
Okay, the Jhin visual rework is crazy, but River is insane on this champion. He lives again. Sundered Sky, Triumph heals, he uses his ult, dashes back out like,
Oh my god.
He was in the middle of 5 people.
He was taking Baron and Soul after this. But yeah, watch this. He lands it and just decides to go in with the Shockwave. So that's the majority of the burst. But then you're thinking that APA is probably out over the wall. The headbutt makes River more aggressive.
Bam.
And then to flash, kill, and then E over to safety is the cherry on top.
And the really cool part was he flashed and then put his W backwards, planning his escape already. So he flashed over there and he put his W through APA and to the next target so that he can then E the next target after he kills APA. The forethought there, and to be able to have that much mobility on Jhin is just so cool.
River's
to reposition your W, like, oh my goodness.
Beautiful. Oh man, those mechanics look so good. He could be a hands model. River showing us a treat right now in game 1 of this best of 5. Like you said, Jatt, they also pick up the Soul. They also pick up the Baron. So 100 Thieves with a pretty big gold lead now. 6,500 plus all the objectives they got earlier, plus the objective they just picked up. Final touches is all they need to close out this game.
I want to play some Jhin now. I need to go home and log in.
That's too good.
Like right now. It looks so crazy.
Try like several weeks to pull off something like that, and just spamming Soul Cure, you're not going to do it.
Yeah. Ooh, oh, but that's a single equalizer plus harpoon.
He's fed.
And APA almost just dies right there. So 100 Thieves can really do whatever they want on the Rift right now. They're going to push in this bottom wave, taking the tier 2 turret, and now starting to siege the inhibitor turret.
Wow, that's
CoreJJ
really interesting,
for
actually. They've won all these fights on such slim margins.
He's looking for the engage onto Dhokla right now. Maybe with Yeon, they can just pop the rumble, but they just don't have the damage right now. Looks like a TP was channeled and then it stopped there. I imagine APA canceled it as Eyla looks to continue the play. Yuuji in some trouble, using the Cyclone, trying to get back to the turret, but he just can't get there. FBI cleans him up. Dhokla takes down CoreJJ, and again, the Thieves strike back.
They're just going where they please right now. Baron's still up, Chem Soul still there. Let's see how much they can get on this push.
I mean, with 2 members dead, 30 seconds on Yuuji, there's a world 100 Thieves are confident to push for the end. Is this that one? They have all 5 members strong here. Some low health bars as Team Liquid actually looks to jump out of Dhokla, who walks very far forward from the rest of the team. The Shockwave only on the Impact, and now damage traded back. It's still Dhokla standing, and it's still Impact dying. 100 Thieves continue the charge, taking a second inhibitor.
Okay, River did miss a skill shot there. He missed the Jhin W, so he can't.
Okay,
He's
all
not
right.
scripted.
He's human? He's not,
He's not
Yeah,
scripted.
he's not a robot.
Can confirm.
Oof, okay, so you checked him PC.
Yeah, I think we need to. I mean, I still might want to run a test after this game, after some of
He
the
might
things
have
I've
done
seen.
that on purpose,
That's what you
just
have to
to
say.
try and fit in with the rest of us.
Kobe's like, yeah, no, that looks more like my Xin Zhao now. All right.
He's got a Guardian Angel now as well. And it looks like he's also going for a Death Dance on top of it because he also has another one of those components. So, yeah, it's looking good. Okay, level 16.
Yeah, let's check in at CoreJJ. Level 10. He's gained a couple of levels right there, so.
We didn't even mention it, but, well.
Okay, X flashes away. River waits for it. Pulverize headbutt, but now hit by the Jhin W. CoreJJ caught out in the jungle.
Okay, you talked about what my Jhin looks like. I do also spam the Keck W from
that's
emote.
good.
So it looks
That's
a
a
little
good
bit
one.
more like me now.
Good.
Kobe's just living 5 hours from now when he's going to be back home playing Xin Zhao and some solo queue.
Yeah,
But
I mean, that might be one of the greatest visual updates also. Because even when he's not doing cool stuff and he's just walking around or like queuing stuff, like the way the spear moves around right
Look at
now,
that.
it just looks way better actually.
looks awesome. Every swing, he's flourishing, jumping around, jumping in onto Impact right there, caught up by the taunt. as APA is under the turret trying to hit the wave, but 100 Thieves have a wave mid lane as well. Equalizer goes down, engaged from Rivers. He's just diving on to APA. The rest of Team Liquid are trying to push back 100 Thieves, and River actually doesn't have the team behind him this time. APA can kite back to safety. Guardian Angel coming back up. River slowed down. Now a flank from Impact as he looks for the engage. The team wasn't quite ready. AP is throwing out the damage, or that is a shutdown as River will fall. Dhokla goes into stasis. The pop blossom forward from Eyla might just turn the play back to the Thieves. They were getting pushed back, but now they're confident to go forward. Shutdown from Yuuji though. Double kill to Quid. It's just a slaughter in the base as bodies are flying everywhere.
I mean, really messy from 100 Thieves. Quid, River got a little carried away after what he's been able to pull off already. But they've lost 3 people, and there's only 2 left. They're sticking around trying to get the inhib, but they probably have to just back away now.
That sometimes happens when you have a Guardian Angel.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I can do it. That was 1,000 gold shutdown, I believe. I believe it had been fully stacked. Let's take a look at the gold that I think Impact actually cashes in on it. But he went for the Zinsex that people try to do sometimes with the ultimate. And he's just so deep, and he gets bounced around by CoreJJ. So he's going to lose his Guardian Angel also. I want to check that gold value. Because Impact, I believe, is the one who cashes in. And I think it was fully stacked here. Yeah.
Big 1090 right there.
Yeah.
Basically
Too
1100
bad it's on the Galio. I mean, it can be...
You'll take it.
As long as they get it. As long as somebody gets it.
Anyone but Alistar.
Yeah, if that goes into CoreJJ's pockets, you are mad.
He's level 12 now. He's doing all right. But also the shockwave from Quid was answered by Impact going for that 3-man taunt. So Impact actually really saving the play for Team Liquid right there.
Well, TL, if they want to save the game, they have a way more work to do, obviously. Yeah. But you always let them start with like, okay, there's another 1,000 gold shutdown if we go after Quid. If we can get that kill as well, then you think one step at a time. You don't want to think too much past that.
Yeah, get the Soul Stealer stacks, but really you need to think about this Elder Dragon right now. I think it's pretty difficult for Team Liquid to defend. They have a decent push out on the bottom lane, so they might be able to approach from the bottom river as long as APA clears super minis and then teleports into the fight at the last second. I think that's the way Team Liquid would try and approach this, but if 100 Thieves plays with a little bit of patience, I think they have more than enough to get the job done.
Right now they're just trying to establish the vision lines, choke out Team Liquid's approaches. They have supers pushing mid and bot, which are going to help out, as Dhokla will even push more in the mid lane here. Team Liquid will have to find a way to get into this Dragon Pit as it is started up right now. Yuuji's nearby, but the team's not all quite right there. APA is still in the mid lane here, catching that super wave as the rest of Team Liquid. It's going to probably come down to a 50-50 if Yuuji can get in there, if they can find the play. But now they're looking on the side here as 100 Thieves catch out Impact, get some damage onto him. The culling goes in. Dhokla on the flank right now as Equalizer goes down. Not a lot of damage. Dhokla's in some trouble. Flashes over the Dragon Wall as 100 Thieves looks to commit onto 2 sides of the fight right now, pushing Team Liquid back. But Team Liquid have a time to regroup right now. They can try and Hex Flash CoreJJ into the pit now as River has the Crescent Guard available, throws it early so that he can't have any damage onto him. CoreJJ is in some trouble, but holding the line for now. 100 Thieves not on the Dragon, they'll just take the support. That might be enough for Team Liquid to back off. Ziggs bomb goes in. Yuuji's gonna look for the miracle. Rooted up though as 100 Thieves will get the Dragon. Now Team Liquid in full retreat mode. Dhokla's going in, Quid behind him, and 100 Thieves can clean up a couple of kills, clean up game number 1. The Elder Dragon will allow an easy fight at the close of this game.
That'll do it. They played with a lot of patience. CoreJJ tried to fly in because they had no vision. They threw the Ziggs bomb because they didn't know if it was going to be a miracle steal, but all those tools were used just to prevent the Elder. Means the fight was more than decided. 100 Thieves are going to take game 1.
They're looking so good. This is some vintage 100 Thieves here.
100 Thieves are back. APA pushed into the fountain. Dhokla walks a little too far forward under said fountain right now, but it's not going to matter. 100 Thieves roar back to life and will take game number 1 versus Team Liquid.
They've got lasers too. Fountain lasers versus Elder Dragon lasers.
They really just want to pad the stats. That's an ace for FBI. 100 Thieves take game 1.